Welcome back to another video. This is my showcase for my Spartan army for the game Mortal Gods. It's 28mm figures, all by Victrix, based for Mortal Gods. The ones there in the back on the different colored basing, those ones weren't painted by myself. I bought those as is, but everything in this kind of like Mediterranean kind of color I painted and made myself. Those guys at the back was an odd story that I'll say, but maybe I'll go into it right now. The whole reason why I'm even doing this channel in the first place is mainly because of the interaction I had with buying those figures. I, like a lot of people, I troll Facebook looking for deals on the buy and sell pages. Mainly, I'm looking for unpainted figures because normally people want a lot of money for painted figures, and I actually quite enjoy painting the figures myself. But I had a conversation with a fella who was selling Mortal Gods, and I really only wanted the mythic figures, the skeletons, and I never actually got into the Kickstarter for either of these games. Either the Spartan Athens version of Mortal Gods or the mythic version with the Medusa and the skeletons and Jason and the Argonauts and that. And I wanted to get into the mythic Kickstarter for the Jason and the Argonauts version, but I missed out. And this fellow was selling it online, and he was selling it for a really cheap price, which I found kind of odd. Like, it's just, some of this stuff looks really good. What he's selling it for? And in my short conversation with the guy, I ended up buying some of his figures, and he agreed to drop it off at my house, at my door. And I said, okay, that's great. I mean, wow, that's very nice of you. Can I ask why? And he said he's getting out of the I'm getting out of the hobby, was his reply. And I said, oh, really? I go, you don't like it? He's like, no, I'm getting out. I'm just getting rid of everything. Everything's for sale. I don't care if I'm selling it. I want it out. So a couple of days later, he arrived at my house, and he literally gave me everything that he had for this game system. I mean, the models, the paints, the unpainted figures, the boxes of stuff that he had. And the look on his face and stuff, it wasn't the look of a guy who was extremely happy with his decision. It looked like a guy who had been treated extremely badly by people and the hobby. And he didn't talk much. He just basically shoved everything in my arms, and he couldn't wait to be rid of it. Is essentially what I'm trying to get across here. And in one way, I'm like, oh, wow, I got a really good deal on these things. What an amazing deal I got. And then the other way, I couldn't sleep. I'm thinking like, wow, when I was watching TV, when I was eating, and I was at work, I was thinking about this guy. Like, what brought this guy to this level? I mean, was it that he had no one to play the game with? Well, I was around, but we just never got in touch. We just didn't know each other existed. And I just always thought like, hey man, that really sucked. Like that was I did not get a good feeling from that transaction. So those guys back there with the greener colored flock, they're not mine. They're his, and I think I'll show them off as his, not as mine. And when I get in closer to the individual figures, you can see what a great job he did on them. But the chances of him watching this video are probably zero. But I thought a lot about my interaction with him, and I hope he's doing okay. Anyway, aside from that, here is the Spartans. I don't even know how many figures there are. There's probably 45, 50, I don't know, something like that. But they're all from Mortal Gods, an excellent game, a game that me and my wife play in the summer nights outside in our patio. Just doesn't require a great amount of figures. Like all these figures here, you wouldn't even use. You use a fraction of these. And I'm going to get in a little closer. We'll see the individual figures, and we'll be back in a second. Here is the leader of the Spartan faction. I can't remember his name exactly. It's like Memnon the Harvester or something like that. But he is not a Victrix figure. He is a figure from the Mortal Gods range. And I love his pose. Just kind of like, come on, let's do this pose. Really nice. The next figure is my second in command, and he has a spear and shield. So he's just a generic Spartan captain if I don't feel like using the very expensive Memnon version, I'll use this guy instead. And every game has a leader, a co-leader, or let's say a commander, a second in command, and then a bunch of troops, different various types. But this is him. This is my leader, but not a character. Here is my second in command, an unarmored, but still pretty beefy Spartan. Doesn't even need his armor or his helmet. He is my second in command. So there's him. Here's another special unit here, and this is my Spartan, essentially my military police guy. I can't remember what they're called exactly, but I painted him with a black shield. Sorry for tipping the camera there. It's on a tripod and it's very shaky. He's got a black shield, and he's essentially the secret police of the Spartan army. So if any slave sees this guy coming down the street to his house, probably not going to end very well. And then I have a couple of generic, a slinger and a javelin man. You know, nothing really special about these guys, just Victrix figures, really cheaply painted, just to get them on the table really quickly. You know, these are early edition Victrix figures, so I don't quite like them. They're very thick, if that's a good word. Here is my first group of Spartans on the Mortal Gods basing. With the I bought the special Spartan add-on pack to put on the Victrix figures. So you get these cool okay, fell out. You get these cool helmets that have hair everywhere. And these are my true born Spartans, the citizens, but they're the armored version of them. So that's them. Next we have the armored version of those guys. And these are Victrix all the way through. I didn't get the heads. The only thing I bought was the shields. These are actually the Spartan warriors. That guy's about to lose an eye back there, but he didn't realize that. But these are my armored version of this Trueborn Spartans, using the Victrix Spartan box. I always love the guys with no helmet. They just look so good. Look at this guy's hair. He got so much. I mean, wow, it was pretty warm in there in the summer, but these guys must have been boiling. Oh, well, he lost. You're out of the game now, sir. And then we have the last one. The last one, basically the same, but it's also got this non-Victrix Mortal Gods Sergeant. I'm not sure what the heck they're called, but especially leader. Essentially, it's the leader of that group of 9. And I'll show you one more unit of Peltis, kind of like the Spartan version of light troops. And next we have the last unit of Spartan hoplites. These again are unarmored. Just give me a second to grab this thing. Okay, knocking my camera around a lot here. I wish I had a better setup, but this is what I have. So essentially this is what we have. We have these 3 units here. Nothing really special about them, all Victrix figures. This guy here is the reason why I got those bad edits. It's because his arm fell off. It's still falling off. Oh, it's gone. But these figures are from the Mortal Gods range, and apart from his hand just falling off and the blue tack I tried to save him with, I don't have any super glue with me. This is one of my favorite models ever collected, ever painted. It looks so good. What a great job they did on this, apart from the arm. Sorry about that arm falling off. It's kind of embarrassing, but there's the spear if you want to see it. And we'll move on to the fellow that I met's painted stuff. So here's his version of the same thing. He has the same figure. Just push this guy in here like this. He has the same figures as me. He just painted them slightly differently. Here's his version of the guy that you can see really nicely painted. The only thing that I wouldn't agree with is the paleness of his skin. But I mean, what the hell do I know? But an amazing job still. Really impressed. And then he's got his version of Spartans here. Really nice. One. I'll show you this one too. I didn't do a lot of mine with these style helmets just because I wanted to keep it with these kind of like the Pilos type. And there's his. So there's his one group. He's got another group. Very much the same. And then he's got some skirmishers. Really nice job on the skirmishers. He even painted the eyes. There's one. There's the second one. And that is the Spartans painted, or shown off. Again, like I said, these ones here were not painted by me. And I had a really strange interaction with that fella that I really wish I could reach out to him and talk to him again and ask him if he's okay, because it didn't seem like everything was going well. And every time I look at these figures, I think, I wonder if he's okay. But that is the Spartans, and in the next video I'm going to show off the Athenians, and then I have some other generic, well, what would they be called? Corinth, any of those cities. Just generic hoplites for another city. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry for the mess. Like, my hands are all over the place. My camera's shaking. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing anymore. I did buy the equipment for this kind of stuff, but I don't know. It's a learning process. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.